Halloween. The day of tricks, treats, and costume parties is much more than just a commercial holiday. It has deep roots in ancient history, dating back to the Celtic festival of Samhain, celebrated over 2,000 years ago by the Celts, primarily in the regions we now know as Ireland, the UK, and northern France. Samhain marked the Celtic New Year, celebrated on November 1st with festivities beginning on the night of October 31st. For the Celts, this was a time when summer ended and winter began, a significant moment in their agricultural cycle. It was also a day believed to have supernatural significance. On Samhain night, the boundary between the living and the dead was thought to thin, allowing spirits of the dead to return to the earthly realm. These wandering souls weren't just harmless apparitions. They could bring harm by causing crop damage or mischief, but they also made it easier for Celtic priests, also known as Druids, to make predictions about the future. The community sought the guidance of these Druids as they relied on their wisdom to prepare for the difficult winter ahead. To celebrate Samhain, fires were essential. Families would let their hearth fires die out as they worked hard to gather the last of the season's crops. Then at night, they would join with the Druids in lighting a massive communal fire. This fire was not just for warmth. It symbolized the sun and was the center of prayers and rituals dedicated to the Celtic deities. It was also believed that the bonfire would help light the way for souls seeking the afterlife. Animal sacrifices were made and crops were burned as offerings to ensure a successful winter. Once the celebration concluded, each family would take a flame from the sacred bonfire back to their homes to reignite their hearths. This fire would protect their homes throughout the cold, dark winter. People would wear costumes made of animal skins and skulls, partly for warmth and protection and partly to disguise themselves from any wandering spirits. The tradition of Samhain didn't stop with fire and sacrifice. Some early versions of what we now know of as trick-or-treating were also practiced. The Celts would often wear costumes and go door to door singing songs to honor the dead. In return, they were given cakes as offerings. Similarly, pranks and tricks were common, though the mischief was often blamed on fairies. However, the evolution of Samhain into the Halloween we know today was not quite straightforward. With the rise of Christianity in Europe, the church sought to adapt many pagan festivals into Christian traditions. In the 5th century, Pope Boniface attempted to move the Samhain celebration to May 13th, designating the date as a time to honor saints and martyrs. Despite this effort, the fire festivals of October and November did not die out. They continued to be an integral part of the culture in many pagan communities. Later, in the 9th century, Pope Gregory made a more strategic move. He shifted the celebration of All Saints' Day to November 1st, aligning it with Samhain. All Saints' Day, also known as All Hallows or All Hallows Miss, was a time to honor Christian saints. The night before this holy day became known of as All Hallows Eve, eventually morphing into the word Halloween. In attempts to keep pagan traditions alive, people would continue to dress up, though now they often chose costumes depicting saints, angels, and devils. But the transformation did not stop there. As Irish and Scottish immigrants brought their customs to America, the holiday continued to evolve. The practice of mumming, dressing up, and visiting neighbors turned into the more familiar custom of trick-or-treating. Instead of cakes, children began receiving sweets and treats in exchange for their festive costumes. The tradition of carving jack-o'-lanterns also evolved. Originally, the Irish carved turnips, but upon arriving in America, they found that pumpkins native to North America were much easier to carve, giving rise to the now iconic Halloween symbol. Even today, many of the elements of Samhain live on in our Halloween traditions. From the costumes we wear to the pranks we pull, echoes of ancient Celtic beliefs and rituals still resonate even though most are unaware of their origins. Halloween is not just about spooks and candy. It is a celebration steeped in history, reflecting humanity's timeless fascination with the supernatural, death, and the ever-blurring line between the living and the dead. So next time you light a pumpkin or throw on your costume, remember, you are not just taking part in the modern day event. You are continuing a tradition that stretches back thousands of years to a time when bonfires lit the night sky, spirits roamed the earth, and people sought to understand the mysteries of life and death. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Please subscribe, it will really help out the channel. Leave a comment if you learned anything new about Halloween, or if you just want to leave your input on anything I may not have covered. I will be checking out the comments. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.